Welcome to the service clinic at Low Country Harley-Davidson. I'm Doc Harley. This is part 2 in a series talking about cams. Last week we talked about how a cam is like a regulator on an air pump. Your Harley-Davidson motor is a big air pump. It brings air in, creates pressure, and lets air out. And the cam is what regulates when and how much air comes into your motor and goes out. So, a cam is a great addition to your Harley if you've already added the high-performance air cleaner and the performance exhaust system. But how do you choose the cams? Well, first you can start with the Harley-Davidson 2015 catalog. But when you open this up, you'll find out that there are about 15 cams to choose from. And your first impulse is, well, how much are they? Well, they all seem to be close in price. So then I'm going to choose the biggest cam that gives me the most power and the most for my money. Well, this might not be the right choice. You need to choose a cam that fits your motorcycle and fits your style of riding. Let's agree on that a Harley-Davidson touring machine is heavier than a Dyna. Let's agree that it takes a little bit more power to get that heavier motorcycle off from the stoplight than it does a Dyna. Let's agree that the touring and Dyna's rubber mounting motors will rev higher than a counterbalanced softtail motor. These are the things that you have to consider when you're choosing a cam for your motorcycle. What type of motorcycle do you have? Now here's the best suggestion I can give to you to get the best information before you choose a cam. Ride your motorcycle for a week, back and forth to work and on the weekends for fun, and watch your tachometer. That's right, see where you shift. Do you shift at 2,500, 3,500? Do you make short shifts? Or are you the kind of guy that just twists the throttle in every gear till you hit the rev limiter and then bang into the next one? These type of information gives us the best thing of choosing a cam. If you shift at 2,500, 3,500, you may want a torque or a possible bolt-in cam because the power on that cam is concentrated down low and at cruising speed. Now, if you're the kind of guy that loves to just wrap every gear out, well, that would be a power cam. A cam that has most of its power coming to your motorcycle at the upper RPMs. The power cam is more likely to go into a lighter bike, a Dyna. Now you can put a power cam that has most of its power in the upper limit of the RPM in a touring machine, but you have to know that you're going to lose some power down low because it's moved all that power to the top where you ride. Let's say you do a lot of highway riding. You go to Daytona Beach, Myrtle Beach, Tennessee. You ride 75 miles an hour and sometimes 90 miles an hour. Well, you want that RPM up in the 3,000 to 4,000 RPM range so you have plenty of power to pass the big rigs as you're traveling down the road. But you got to know off the stop sign, if you're side by side with a stock motorcycle, he's going to outpull you at the very start, because his cam concentrates all the power down low. But when you get moving into the upper RPMs, your cam starts bringing on the power and you get power at the top. Now, if you choose a power cam versus a bolt-in or torque cam, you may get some more noise from the whole valve train. And let me explain why. Here I have 4 cams. Here's a stock cam, the 255 CVO bolt-in cam, the biggest cam Harley-Davidson offers, and an aftermarket cam. Now, on a Harley-Davidson system, you have a tappet that lifts the valve, and we'll explain that in a further video. But for this one, let me take the stock cam, use this, the cam rotates, lifts the lifter up, and then brings it back down. It has a nice ramp to lift this and bring it back down, and it works well in your motorcycle. Now the 255 cam, the bolt-in cam and a CVO cam, looks almost exactly like the stock cam, but it's a little bit bigger. So, as this is rotating, It's lifting the valve, letting more air in than the stock one, lifting it a little bit higher so it lets more air in, but then it slides back down the other side. Very gradual, very nice. Let's move on to the Harley-Davidson High-Performance 266 cam. You can see it's kind of square. It's trying to lift this lifter up as fast as it can, let as much air as it can, and then it drops. And that's the noise you're going to hear, the ticking, tick, 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 because it's trying to get as much air as possible, and fuel, of course, into your motor to create the most power. Now, here's the aftermarket one that is even more exaggerated in bringing this lifter up, holding it, and bringing it back down. You must consider a power cam is going to make a little bit more noise in your Harley motor. So, if you have a Street Glide, an Ultra with a big fairing, Harley-Davidson has designed this fairing to give you nice, quiet, so you can listen to your stereo. Well, the noise from the motor is going to come up and you're going to hear it more than a customer that has, let's say, a Dyna that the wind is blowing past him and he can't hear what's going on below him. So that's another piece of the puzzle when choosing a cam. Do you want to keep your motorcycle as quiet as possible so you can listen to the tunes? Or are you from the old school days that you love to hear the cam working, you love to hear the motor making all the noise, like the big 327, 350, and 400 cubic inch motors back in the early 60s and 70s? So, what I want you to do is ride your bike, find out where you shift, and now you're asking me, well, my Softail doesn't have a tachometer. How am I supposed to know? A little humor here, but listen to me. If you ride your bike going rup, 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 you're shifting down at the torque area. If you're a customer that goes rup, rup, going all the way through till you hit the rev limiter, which I should have went bop, 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 bop. All right, you're the kind of guy that wants the power cam. You want the upper limit. So ride your motorcycle every day and don't choose a cam from dyno charts. Because yes, you'll see that this cam gives you the most horsepower, but look where it's doing it, at 6,000 RPM. How often do you ride going to work and coming back and on the weekend at 6,000 RPM? Most of us ride 2,500 to 3,500, down low. And that's where you want your torque. You want the most power because that's where you want to enjoy what you bought. Next week we're going to talk about how much does it cost? It costs this much to put in a bolt-in cam, but it costs a lot more to put a power cam in. I'm Doc Harley. We'll see you next week.